Hello everyone! Today I am here to share with you all of my favorite mystery thrillers books. So before I get on to my recommendations list, which isn't that long, I want to preface this by saying that I am not a mystery thriller expert. I am very much a novice. I just recently started getting into the genre last year, and I've only read maybe 15 to 20, maybe 25 mystery thriller books as a whole. So if you're looking for like really expert opinions on mystery and thrillers, sadly this will not be the video for you because I feel like I am not one. This is gonna be like if you're interested in dipping your toes into the adult mystery thriller genre, maybe this video will help you out because I'm still very much in that. I have about 10 books today to talk to you guys about that are some of my personal favorite mystery thrillers, and I hope I don't get a ton of comments saying, wow, you haven't read a lot of mystery thrillers, because you're correct, I have not. As each year grows, I grow more with my genres, and I've read more mystery thrillers than ever this year, but yeah, I definitely need to read a lot more. So yeah, if you want expert opinions, sadly this video is not for you, but if you're new to the genre, this video hopefully will be perfect for you. Let's get into it. So I first want to talk about are kind of the mystery books that I don't really perceive as mystery. Like, they have a mystery shroudness, if you will. I would say they're kind of women's fiction bordering on mystery. First one I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about is Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. This is a very much women's fiction book, kind of contemporary-ish with a twinge of mystery. So throughout the beginning of this book, we know that there is a murder that has happened, and throughout the novel you're getting a little bit of clues and like kind of a detective work from like interviews from the detectives talking to people about what happened the night this murder went down. And throughout this book, you're really delving into the lives of these three women and their children as they go through kindergarten and things like that. So I think is great to start out with if you're trying to get into the mystery genre, because it's got a little tiny taste of mystery. A lot of Liane Moriarty's books do, but I really enjoyed it. So like I said, this is very minimalistic mystery, I would say. It's mostly about the three women, but you just kind of have that big murder like happening in the background. You're constantly wondering what happened, who done it, things like that. Speaking of that, a book that I think is very similar to Big Little Lies is Watching You by Lisa Jewell. I just finished this and I really enjoyed it. This one is kind of women's fiction. I would also say it's kind of like a domestic thriller, if you will, but it reminds me of Big Little Lies because there is a murder that's happened at the beginning of this book. Throughout the entirety of the book, you're getting detectives talking to different characters within this book of what happened that night, and you know, has kind of the same spiel as Big Little Lies. This one takes place in England, and it follows like a neighborhood or like four houses that are very like on a hill, and they all kind of just watch each other, and you're getting the glimpse into a lot of people's lives, and there's a big mystery of the murder, but there's also one that's deeper than that. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if a lot of people would, because it's not like, I wouldn't say it's like not very mysterious, but it's very addicting to read about, I would say. So I'd say if you liked Big Little Lies, maybe check this one out. It's definitely not the same vibe as far as friendship and tightness, but it's more about like watching people and uncovering kind of their deepest, darkest secrets. And the last one I want to talk about that's kind of just got that twinge of mystery, just that little taste of it, and it's definitely kind of women's fiction, is Ghosted by Rosie Walsh. About a couple named Sarah and Eddie, and they meet and they fall in love within like a week, and they part because Eddie is going on vacation and he promises to call Sarah from the airport and things like that, only he never does. And she knows that he has not ghosted her, that he has really disappeared, and that something more serious is going on, and she tries to uncover the mystery of where he has gone. This one definitely has a lot of twists and turns, and it's the mystery of not a murder, of rather, did this person completely disappear from her life, or is there something more going on? I enjoyed it. This definitely leans more heavily towards the women's fiction side, I would say. But either way, if you're looking for just getting into the genre, I would highly recommend these because they just give you a little splash of mystery, not like the full enchilada. Is that the right word? Now I want to delve into a couple of straight up like the Whodunit books, like the Agatha Christie novels that, you know, you have this murder that's happened and you have these guests, and you have a pool set of people and you're trying to figure out who done it. A couple of these books I think are perfect for that category. The first one being The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Torton. I believe this is called The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle in the UK. This one just came out over the US, hence maybe that's why the title changed. This one I just finished as well. It's got that classic whodunit, the Clue type of thing, Agatha Christie. In this book, It's very different though, I will say. So in this book, we follow a character named Aidan Bishop, and he wakes up in another person's body, and the only word that he remembers is Anna. So he figures out he's at this manor called Blackheath, and that basically there is a woman named Evelyn Hardcastle who's been murdered, and he has to solve the murder of it. And he has 7 nights to do so, and each night when he doesn't figure out who has killed Evelyn Hardcastle, he wakes up in a different body. So he has 7 different hosts within this manor, and basically each day he's seeing this murder from a different set of eyes and a different person in this house, and he has to try to figure out what has happened to Evelyn Hardcastle, which is very intriguing. This book, I will say, gets very confusing because it's much more than that. You think, oh, very cool that there's 7 different people that you're going to be following because he wakes up in 7 different bodies, but it's much more than that. Timelines get confusing. Overall, I'd say if you were a huge fan of like the Whodunit, like writing notes down, trying to figure out who was at a certain time and things like that, I would highly recommend this book. I did enjoy it for that factor, but overall it got confusing for me, but still a classic murder mystery book, I think, for sure. Another one that's got that classic Whodunit vibe is An Unwanted Guest by Sherry LaPena. This is a very, very short novel, and it takes place in the Catskills Mountains up in New York, and it takes place at like a bed and breakfast, and basically all these guests go to this bed and breakfast, each for very different reasons, and there's an ice storm that happens that knocks out the power, and they're all kind of stuck there because ice storm, can't leave, and da-da-da, and then a murder happens, and of course somebody in this hotel, bed and breakfast, has done it, and they're trying to figure out who's done it, and then another murder happens. So this is your classic whodunit novel. I really enjoyed it. I didn't guess who it was, but I wasn't surprised by who did it either, but it's a very, very short one in case you were just wanting to get in the genre of like the classic murder mystery books. I would recommend this one. It's a very fast read, addicting, and I liked how it played out in the end. The next couple ones I want to talk about, I don't know what genre they could be. I guess just straight up mystery thrillers. I don't know if you know the actual like subgenre it is, let me know. The first one is Pieces of You by Karen Slaughter. This is the first Karen Slaughter book I've read, and I really enjoyed it. I've heard it's very, very different from her other novels though, very much tamed down, which is probably why I enjoyed it, because I'm not so much on the gore factor at all. The book is all about, do you really know someone, especially even if it's your own mother? This book, we follow a character named Andrea who thinks she knows her mother like the back of her hand. Then basically this event happens and she sees her mother in a new light, and she has to literally run for her life. And within that, she uncovers a lot of things about her mother and what happened to her mother in her past. And it's a very addicting read, a lot of twists and turns. Definitely didn't see a lot of them coming, but I loved every second of this book. It's, you know, got that classic mystery because, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. It was addicting. It's a very big book, but I flew through it because I was just so invested in the storyline and figuring out what is going on. This book, we also go in the past and figuring out about Andrea's mother and what happened to her and putting all of the pieces to the puzzle together, and it was a great puzzle to put together, let me tell you. I loved it. Another one is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This book gets dragged a lot because not a lot of people like it. I liked it. I will preface by saying this was my very first ever mystery thriller book that I read, so I don't know if that I'm harboring feelings for it because it was my first one I ever read, but I really enjoyed it. I've yet to see the movie, so don't ask me if the movie's good because I don't know. This one is about a woman who travels on the train every day to commute to work, and basically she sees this house and this couple and she becomes infatuated with them, and she sees a murder happen, and you can't ever tell if she's being honest or not because she's a very unreliable narrator. She drinks a lot and sometimes she will, you know, go in and out of it, and it's very tricky to figuring out if she's telling the truth or not. I really enjoyed it. I guess the ending, but I really liked the, I don't know, turns that it took. I liked it overall. It was a good first mystery thriller in my opinion, and I like it, but I know a good majority of people don't like it, but either way, I just want to talk to you guys about it because I enjoyed it. What I really enjoy is The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I'm the unpopular opinion on a lot of mystery thrillers I've learned. I like a lot of the ones that a lot of people don't like, including this one. Not a lot of people love this one. I really enjoyed it. This one is all about a woman that is divorced to her husband, and her husband's remarried, marrying, and she kind of, you think she's a stalker. I don't know how to explain this book other than the fact of when you read this book, you'll make many assumptions. You will assume you're reading about a jealous ex-wife. You will assume she's obsessed with the replacement. You will assume that you know the anatomy of this tangled love triangle. Assume nothing. So this is read between the lies. So like I said, this is all about the ex-wife, and you think you know where it's going, but I didn't guess where it was going. I'm kind of mad I did not guess the big plot twist in this. I really enjoyed the first plot twist. The ending I didn't love. I really was kind of unsatisfied with the ending. But if you're looking to get into the genre, I would recommend this one. It's very intriguing, not scary, but just very mysterious. And I enjoyed it because I did not see the first plot twist coming, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't see it, but I enjoyed it. The last three I have to talk to you guys about are, I think, some of my most favorite. The first one is probably one of my most favorite mystery thrillers, and that is Final Girls by Riley Sager. This one's kind of bordering on the horror-ish line, I would say, but not really. This book is all about the tropes of the final girl left standing in a horror movie, what happens to her. And so this follows a woman, and she survived this really brutal murder situation that she was involved in years ago where her friends were murdered, but she somehow escaped. She is part of the Finals Girl Club, so she is in a group with all these other women that have also had similar situations happen to them where they have gotten out of their situation, like their murder situation. And basically in this book, one of the final girls ends up dead. And it's played off as a suicide, but is it really? Is somebody going after the final girls? I really enjoyed this book. This is also a polarizing book. A lot of people either enjoy it, a lot of people don't like it. Probably have learned by watching this that I seem to really enjoy a lot of thriller books that a lot of people don't like. I don't know what that says about me. I don't know. But I really enjoyed it. Didn't see the plot twist. I enjoyed them. This one is kind of creepy in my opinion, but I really enjoyed Riley Sager's writing. Another of Riley Sager's books that I really enjoyed is The Last Time I Lied. This one is about a camp disappearance of these 3 teenagers within this camp years and years ago. Their other roommate, Emma, actually did not disappear, but it's haunted her ever since. So years pass by, and they're actually reopening the camp, and they want Emma to come to be a counselor. And so Emma decides to go to see for herself what has happened. Where did these girls go? And of course, that leads her on a hunt to much more than she bargained for. I really enjoyed it. I will say I liked Final Girls a little bit more by Riley Sager, but either way, if you're looking for just a great mystery thriller book, I highly recommend either of these. Enjoyed them. And the last book I want to recommend to you is definitely one that's not for everyone, and that is You by Carolyn Kepnes. I'm sure you've heard a lot about this book because not only is it very popular, but it's also been adapted to a Lifetime TV show. This one takes place from the point of view of a stalker. So we have Joe. Joe works at a bookstore, and he meets a customer named Beck, and he becomes obsessed with Beck. He quickly figures out where she lives, where she works, who her friends are, follows her, and he kind of weaves himself into Beck's life, and he does a lot of really insane and horrible things. And we're following Joe's point of view. So the book's called You because it's like, I'm watching you do this, I'm watching you go out. This book is also very adult for the content, but also very adult because there's a lot of sexual talk, a lot of things like that, just so you're aware of that. I think a lot of these books are, but this one in particular, this one almost kind of falls into the erotica thriller, I would say, maybe. But this one I really enjoyed. I'm surprised I enjoyed it because I hated every single character in this novel. Every single character. You think you will sympathize a lot with Beck, the stalky, if you will, but you hate her, and you hate her friends, and you hate everybody in this book, including Joe the stalker. I think it was intentional for these characters to be written like you hated them because, good lord, like they were just horrible, but this is an addicting book. I love the audiobook. Highly recommend the audiobook. It just up the creep factor even more because it's like he's talking to you because he keeps saying that. Overall, really enjoy this one. Highly recommend, even though I hated every single person in this book. So there you have it. Those are all of my mystery thriller recommendations. I know, not a very long list, but like I said, there is a lot that I still need to read, and I have read a lot more than this, but there's a lot of mystery thrillers that I really don't like at all. Like, there's a good chunk of them I don't like. If you want a video of all the ones that I do not really enjoy, let me know. I'd be more than happy to make that. You know, your opinions on all of these books and your favorite mystery thrillers after seeing what I like. I would love to hear your recommendations to me because I'm always looking for a really good mystery thriller book to read. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.